Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team. How can you not know this name? This incredible team has been the benchmark in Formula 1 for so long that its name has become synonymous with the word winning. Also, the reigning 7-time world champions have succeeded to reach such a level of perfection in the last years that a weekend where they don't secure a front row lockout and a commanding victory has become such a rarity that almost everyone in Formula 1, apart them of course, is looking forward to. Hi guys, here is F1 to you, and in this episode I am going to talk about the evolution of a team that has rewritten the F1 history books in the last couple of years, and also about some very talented and hard-working people all united under the Mercedes logo. When we the fans see them topping every session of every race weekend out there, it's easy for us to forget about all the enormous efforts and countless hours of work behind these incredible results. It seems that Mercedes have been dominating for ages and that they are in a class of their own, far above the others. However, when Mercedes made its official F1 debut with their works team back in 2010, there was a totally different situation from the one we have nowadays, and there was still a long way for them to go in order to become the dominant force they are today. So guys, in my opinion, the Mercedes journey in Formula 1 started in 2009 with Brown GP, a team that shocked the entire F1 community with its first and only season in Formula 1 under this name. After a successful career as a technical director at Benetton and Ferrari during the Michael Schumacher period, Ross Brown founded his own team by rebranding the former Honda cars. The 2009 season proved to be a massive success, with Brown GP creating an extraordinary car that took both the drivers and the constructors' championship that year. However, this wasn't enough to secure the financial security of the team, which continued to struggle with the money, so Ross sold the team to Mercedes at the end of 2009. But Mercedes chose to keep Ross as the team's leader, which of course was the logical decision considering all the success he had previously enjoyed in the sport. As for the drivers, Nico Rosberg, aged only 25 at that time, signed for them, but also the Red Baron himself, Michael Schumacher, came back from retirement attracted by this new and promising project. However, in 2010, the Brackley-based squad failed to maintain the front-running form of the previous year, and it had to settle for 4th in the Constructors' Championship at the end of the year. Surprisingly, Nico Rosberg scored almost double the points Michael scored and comfortably beat him throughout the season, which unfortunately just confirmed the fact that Schumacher was no longer in his prime. Also, in 2010, Formula 1 announced that from 2013 it will switch to V6 turbo hybrid powertrains, and Mercedes, crucially, wasted no time and immediately started working on these new engines way sooner than any other team on the grid. 2011, however, didn't bring much more success either. They still managed to finish 4th, but the enormous gap to Red Bull, Ferrari and McLaren remained. However, Mercedes managed to regroup and had a great start to the 2012 campaign, taking their first F1 win as a works team since 1955 at the 3rd race of the season in China after a front row lockout in qualifying. And although it was Rosberg who delivered this historic result, Michael also managed to put some smiles on his fans' faces that year by snatching an emotional podium in Valencia and by setting the fastest time of the Monaco qualifying session, even though he didn't start from pole due to a penalty from the previous race. Unfortunately, Mercedes' pace dropped off compared to the others throughout the season, and in the end, the Silver Arrows only managed to take 5th place in the championship. 2012 was also Michael Schumacher's last year driving in Formula 1, but Mercedes brilliantly managed to convince another established world champion by the name of Lewis Hamilton to join their team. Things got even better for Mercedes in 2013. They massively raised their game compared to the previous seasons, and they finally started to deliver the kind of performances we were expecting from such an important car manufacturer. They scored 3 wins and in the end finished a strong 2nd in the constructors, being beaten only by Red Bull, which was quite on a roll back then. Also, Lewis managed to outscore Nico in only his first season with the team. Ross Brown decided to step out from his team principal role at the end of the year, making way for a familiar name, Toto Wolff, and a new era to begin. Now, in 2014, with the arrival of the new V6 turbo hybrid engines, Mercedes were expected to be quick. And my god, did they deliver! Not only they started a new era of domination in Formula 1, but they redefined the meaning of the word winning. Having the fastest car by quite a margin and a very strong driver lineup, Mercedes won 16 out of the 19 races of the season and took pole at all but one rounds. In my opinion, their only setback of the season was represented by the fact that Lewis's and Nico's relationship as teammates turned into a very bitter one. In the end, after several fights, Lewis managed to outperform Nico and clinch his second world title. 2015 was a similar story, with the Silver Arrows comfortably winning the championship and Lewis gaining his third champion crown after some more tense moments with Rosberg. In 2016, however, the hostility between Lewis and Nico reached an entire new level. Although the Mercedes cars were still flying on the racing track, the tension between those two was becoming more and more obvious, especially at races like the Spanish or the Austrian Grand Prix from that year, and this rivalry was certainly making life very difficult for Toto Wolff and Niki Lauda as the leaders of the team. In the end, with the help of some reliability issues that Lewis had during the season, Rosberg finally succeeded to beat his teammate Lewis Hamilton, only to surprise everybody a few days after becoming world champion with his decision to leave the sport. Even more than that, technical director Paddy Lowe also chose to leave the team at the end of the year and go to Williams. So Mercedes had to find some good replacements quickly in order to keep their superiority over the other teams, especially with the major aerodynamic changes coming in 2017. So the Silver Arrows chose to put their trust in James Allison as the new technical director and in Valtteri Bottas as Lewis's new teammate. And although I think Rosberg was a much faster and consistent driver than Valtteri is, I don't think anyone could deny the fact that without Valtteri's cooperation, it would have been a lot harder for Mercedes to achieve all those amazing results. Coming back to the 2017 season, I personally believe that over the first part of the season, Ferrari did have a small advantage over Mercedes. However, Mercedes proved once more that they are one of the best teams F1 has ever seen by bouncing back with an incredible second half of the season, which ultimately resulted into their fourth consecutive title. The following year, Ferrari came back even stronger, but again, due to Mercedes' better strategies and reliability, but also because of Lewis's supreme driving, the world champions secured another commanding victory in the championship fight. In 2019, however, Ferrari didn't manage to keep their speed from the previous years, so Mercedes, of course, took the title again without any trouble. But this doesn't mean that they stopped innovating, because after all, this is what makes this team so great, its tremendous burning ambition to win. And this year, they came with the ingenious DAS system that just completes this amazing car that they've built and that in my opinion represents a very close representation of perfection. So, of course, Mercedes are now the first team in F1 history to win 7 consecutive titles, and their period of glory certainly isn't coming to an end in the near future, as next year's cars won't differ very much from the current ones. In the end, I can't really find enough words to describe the greatness of this legendary team and what they have achieved, but I can say that their legacy will forever remain into F1's beautiful history, even if one day their records will be matched by another team. So guys, this is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comments what do you think of Mercedes' meteoric performances over the last 7 years. Here was F1 to you, and I'll see you in the next episode.